All right, it's time for fantasy and some waiver wire pickups and maybe a few drops along the way. And obviously this early, it's the second week of the season. Probably too early to start to panic if your guy Steven Jackson didn't play great. He'll get his, or Larry Johnson, or if Peyton Manning didn't have a big game. Relax. We know they're going to put up their numbers, and obviously you guys are going to keep them. But a few things that stick out here in week 2 heading in. There's some really good pickups, but a couple guys, you'll drop anybody that has a season-ending injury like Tom Brady, obviously, and you'll need a backup. But another guy that's not a season-ending injury that physically may not be ready to play this week or in the next 2 or 3 or 4 weeks is Vince Young of the Tennessee Titans. Now, Vince has always been a winner, but a lot of you may not have touched him on your fantasy team anyway. Those that did loved his feet, his ability to run and throw. You put the combination together, may give you some fantasy numbers. But he's beat up physically, getting an MRI on his knee, but also emotionally. Things are not right with him right now. Something's not right. It's been talked about. And if your quarterback isn't stable and gets too uptight when things aren't going well and drops and all of a sudden gets really excited when they are, Vince Young has some of that in him. This is a winner, but he's not a numbers guy. If I was you, Vince Young would not be on my fantasy team. Now let me give you some guys that should be and pickups. Let's start with Eddie Royal, the wide receiver, the Denver Broncos. With Brandon Marshall out, he stepped his game up. This is a clear-cut number 2 and eventually could be a number 1 on a team, but the Denver Broncos love him. Touch the ball in a bunch of different ways. If you picked him up during your fantasy draft, you're lying to me because you didn't know who he was from Virginia Tech. And you didn't think, oh, a rookie wide receiver on a team that runs the football. Grab yourself. I mean, they throw it in Denver, obviously, with Cutler, but their MO has always been to power run and to run downhill with the zone blocking. Grab yourself Eddie Royal and do it immediately. If you didn't do it after the game last night, you're probably a little late. Trent Edwards, the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, I'm a Trent Edwards fan. He's just efficient and gets it done. He's not going to put up alarming numbers, but if you had a quarterback that's hurt, he's good to have on your roster. You also might want to jump on Matt Castle, and here's why. Are they going to be the same without Brady? No. People will play them different, probably play the run even a little bit more and double-team Randy Moss, which means they may be in closer games or they may be in games where they're playing from behind and have to throw more. And you know what? I think that the Patriots are going to want to try to prove to the world that Matt Castle can get it done. He might be a sneaky backup pick for you also that you can jump on. And then there's John Kitna. If you didn't draft him at the beginning, Kitna's going to put up numbers because Detroit blows, and they're always going to be playing from behind. So John Kitna will put up some big numbers for you. And then another quarterback, Matt Ryan. I was so impressed with his poise as a rookie. If you're in a keeper league, you might want to jump on this early. But now watch what's going to happen. With Michael Turner jumping, running for 200-plus yards, defenses are going to try to stop him, just like they're trying to do in Minnesota, and you wouldn't take Tavares Jackson, but Matt Ryan can throw the football. So he may get a lot of single coverage and some big plays. I might jump on Matt Ryan also to put him on my roster. As far as a tight end, and tight ends are not huge picks unless you're Gates or Witten, but I'm telling you now the tight end position has changed. They put him at wide receiver, spread him out. These guys will score double digits touchdowns sometimes. And how about the sneaky game Dante Rosario had for the Carolina Panthers with a healthy quarterback? You might want to jump on Dante and see if you can add him late to your roster. He might be a good fill-in on a bye week against a team, especially when they're on the road. The Panthers always play well on the road. Rosario, the tight end for Carolina. A couple running backs that that have to stick out in your mind. One is you definitely got to love Matt Forte. What a great job by the Bears to decide, you know what, Cedric Benson can't do it. He was the 4th pick of the draft a couple, 3 years ago or so, 4 years ago, whatever it was. I mean, I don't even remember because his career was not memorable. So they get Matt Forte, the rookie from Tulane, and he's playing lights out, rushes for over 100 yards. Have him on your roster because the Bears are going to continue to lean on him with a quarterback like Kyle Orton who protects the football well. They're going to rely on running the football, no question about it. And then, obviously, Ray Rice. Now, I'm going to tell you why you put Ray Rice on your roster. Willis McGahee's a hell of a player. But Ray Rice needs to be on your roster for this reason. McGahee, knee injury, you never know how long that's going to last. And the Baltimore Ravens want to run it. They got a rookie quarterback, so they're going to run it. They did it last week without McGahee, and they will do it again. Ray Rice would be a good pickup. Those are some to jump on right now. Obviously, running back heavy. If you are one of those guys that wants Forte or Rice, you want to jump on a running back. But if your quarterback's hurt or if you're struggling, there's a couple guys on your roster for the reasons I just gave you might want to consider. This is week 2. Fantasy's just kicking in. Don't panic yet. Your guys, your superstars will find a way to get it done.
So you think you can tackle a pro? There's only one way to find out. Click on fantasy at opensports.com.